Sinead O'Connor, Irish singer, dies aged 56. Her family announced the news with great sadness, saying her family and friends are devastated. The cause of death has not been made public. She was best known for her single Nothing Compares to You, released in 1990, which reached #1 and brought her worldwide fame. Taoiseach, Irish PM, Leo Varadkar said her music was loved around the world and her talent was unmatched. Irish President Michael D. Higgins praised O'Connor's authenticity as well as her beautiful, unique voice. "What Ireland has lost at such a relatively young age is one of our greatest and most gifted composers, songwriters and performers of recent decades. One who had a unique talent and extraordinary connection with her audience, all of whom held such love and warmth for her," he said. Born Sinead Marie Bernadette O'Connor in Glenageary, County Dublin, in December 1966, the singer had a difficult childhood. As a teenager, she was placed in Dublin's Angrianan Training Centre, once one of the notorious Magdalene laundries, originally set up to incarcerate young girls deemed to be promiscuous. One nun bought her a guitar and set her up with a music teacher, which led to the launch of O'Connor's musical career. She released her first critically acclaimed album The Lion and the Cobra in 1987, which entered the top 40 in the UK and US. Her follow-up was I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got, which included Nothing Compares to You. Written by Prince, the song reached #1 around the world, including in the US and the UK. O'Connor, who was outspoken in her social and political views, released 10 studio albums between 1987 and 2014. In 1991, she was named Artist of the Year by Rolling Stone magazine and took home the Brit Award for International Female Solo Artist. The following year, one of the most notable events of her career took place when she ripped up a picture of Pope John Paul II on US TV show Saturday Night Live, where she was the invited performer. Following an a cappella performance of Bob Marley's War, she looked at the camera and said "Fight the real enemy," a protest against child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. Her actions resulted in her being banned for life by broadcaster NBC and protests against her in the US, which saw copies of her records destroyed in New York's Times Square. "I'm not sorry I did it. It was brilliant," she said in an interview with the New York Times in 2021. O'Connor's last studio album, I'm Not Bossy, I'm the Boss, was released in 2014. Although she was a controversial figure, there was always a tenderness to her protests. When she ripped up a picture of the Pope on US television, she was thinking about victims of abuse, not about her image. Her later albums featured guest spots by her own children and hymns to peace and community. Earlier this year, she won a Classic Album Award in Ireland and dedicated it to the country's refugee community. Nothing Compares to You was the outlier, a song that made her famous against her wishes. At heart, she was a protest singer with a voice that demanded to be heard. That is how we should remember her.